It's time for Penguin Speaks.
Greetings, everybody. Penguin here. Today's going to be kind of a little rant, and my nose is itching. I don't know why. It's not from doing cocaine. I haven't done that since the war. What I'm going to rant about today is doctors, and not necessarily doctors, but new state, federal guidelines when it comes to prescribing things. Took my wife to the doctor today for her pain management, which she's been seeing this one for about 3 or 4 years. And she didn't get to see the primary doctor. She saw a nurse practitioner, which that's fine. But first of all, they don't click. And every time that she sees this one, she tries to back her off things that she's taken. Now, this is pain management. Keep this in mind as I speak. They're not backing her off of the C2 medication or the controlled Schedule 2. They're trying to back her off of the C3s that she's taken, both of which were only recently became C3s. One is the drug Soma, which is a muscle relaxer, and the other one is Soma, which is classified as a muscle relaxer, and the other one is Ultram, or Tramadol. That one has just been maybe a year or two that has become a C3, or controlled in general. And the Soma, it's been the last couple of years. Okay, we get this. Those are the ones they're trying to cut back on. And the issue is, with her pain, she has a shunt that used to be in her head, but now it's in her back to release brain pressure. Spinal cord fluid around the brain. The problem is, it wouldn't be a case of just backing them off if she didn't need them. It's a combination of the medicine is what works for her. So taking away from either one of them leaves her in pain somewhat. If you're taking one medicine, say 4 times a day, and they back it down to 2 times a day, there's going to be gaps that need to be filled that there's going to be a lot of pain. She has a number of underlying health issues. She has MS. She has what's called pseudotumor cerebra, increased spinal cord pressure, fluid, things like that. Well, first they said, well, we're going to back away from the Soma. Eventually you won't be on it at all. But it's a combination of the Soma and her C2 medication that gives her the relief. And for breakthrough, she takes the Ultram. Well, same thing. We're going to back away from the Ultram. We're going to start, tapering you down. But they're not filling the void with anything. And what this lady is saying is that the Soma breaks down into a benzo, meprobamate. Well, I'm sorry, neither one of those are benzos. They're not benzodiazepine. They act like it, but they're not. I don't care how they break down in the bloodstream. They are not a benzo. And that's their rule, is you can't take a benzo if you're on a C2 medication because there's been too many accidental overdoses. Well, some people do accidentally overdose, and I get that. But my feeling is, and this is just my opinion, the people who overdose are going to overdose. They overdose on these medications because that's what they have and it's readily available. It doesn't look like they tried to because they're prescribed. Okay? So they're taking both of those away. And now it just doesn't make sense to me. They say it's guidelines from the FDA. Well, once we looked up the guidelines for the FDA, we found out that it's not actually the FDA, it's local, so it's a state thing. I understand they want to get rid of the pill mills and things like that. I'm all for that. But the drug addicts and the people who have abused the system and these things are making it very difficult for people who have legitimate chronic pain and needs to be addressed. The people who are making these decisions obviously have never been in this type of pain before. I mean, as a stroke victim, I have a lot of pain and I'm on different medications for it. But my doctors have never said anything about decreasing this because of this and blah, blah, blah. And what we're trying to understand, the things that they're showing us, they are guidelines. They're not set in stone. They're saying what should happen. The only people who can go above and beyond are the pain management people. My thing, and I kind of got a little bit upset today, and I let her know. I said, she's been coming here for years, and you guys are not managing her pain. And I elaborated by saying, you guys have been writing the prescriptions, and that's all. You have not sent her for any tests. You have not sent her for any diagnostics, anything to find out what the underlying causes are for some of these. Okay, now they can't do anything about the shunt that she has in her back that, again, used to be in her head. They can't do anything about that. She has to see a neurosurgeon for that. But it's just now that they've given her the referral. After a couple years, they're just now getting around to giving her the referral to see this. And now they want to do an MRI. Well, actually, they didn't even suggest an MRI or a CT. We had to suggest it to them. Well, don't you think we should do this? Well, yeah, we can do that. So what have you been doing for the last couple of years if you're indeed pain management? All you've been doing is writing prescriptions. Not once do they test her. I mean, they don't even check a temperature or weigh or I mean, nothing that you would think somebody would do. I go to my pain management and my neurologist, and of course they do all that. They want to know what's going on with you, but hers doesn't. Now, there's a doctor there who is the main doctor. He is the reason why we moved here, or one of the reasons why we moved here, so she was closer and didn't have to come up every couple of months from Florida to her doctor is in Atlanta. So since we've moved up here, she has seen him once, and she keeps getting scheduled with the nurse practitioner. So we spoke with the office manager today and said this is uncalled for, and explained the situation to him, which he's going to address it with the physician. It's just a case where they just don't get along, her and the nurse practitioner. And it's more of a personality conflict than anything else. And you know how you get two people, and there's nothing different about either one of them. You just don't clash. And there's nobody else that she can see there at this point. Every time she does see the physician, he just, okay, let's keep on with what we're doing. If it's working, let's keep going with it. Writes the same scripts, the same doses, the same frequencies that she has been taking. But every time she sees a nurse practitioner, she decreases it. Well, we're going to stop this. We're going to drop it, by 1 tablet a day. We're going to do this, and we're going to do this because the guidelines. I'm so sick of hearing about the damn guidelines that it's making me crazy. Okay, they're just that, guidelines. And they specifically say in there, pain management has the ability to maneuver and work and do things the way they see fit per patient, because everybody is different. People are seeing pain doctors for different reasons. And most of them, I agree that if it's new pain management, new patient, that unless they have an underlying condition such as cancer or things like that, I do understand not prescribing these heavy-duty medications. But when you have somebody that's been chronic for the last 10 plus years, they need them. You don't just have to have cancer to be in pain. And I think that that's really what one of the main problems with this other lady is. She doesn't really know about the MS or pseudotumor cerebra or things like that. So she's just going by the guidelines because that's all she knows to do. Now the main doctor does have to sign the prescriptions, but he probably doesn't even realize who it is or what the case may be. And the case manager told us that we're going to see the other doctor and see what's going on with that. Because my thing is, well, let me go back to saying this. They said that she sees all for the refills and scripts and stuff like that. That's where her job is. So I'm not sure what he does, because he's not making any decisions to try to manage the pain as far as scheduling this, referring to this, trying to find what causes and things like that are. And so what are they doing there besides just writing scripts saying have a nice day? My wife broke down today because she is so frustrated with people trying to mess with the medications that a lot of times don't work on their own, and to try and change things without substituting or trying anything different. And that's really what infuriates me, because if they would say, okay, we're going to decrease this, but we're going to try this along with it and see how it works. And if this works more or better or the same, then we can start decreasing this one and increasing this one. That's fine. That's what their job is. But just to say, oh, well, you're on this and we got to decrease this, and you're on this and we got to decrease this, that's just absurd to be like that because of the guidelines. And guidelines are just that. They're averages, so to speak. This is what you should do in most cases. But again, everybody is different. And pain management clinics have the ability to change that. Of course, then we get the stories about this person did this and they did an audit and this person did this. Because they're doing the wrong thing. If you do things and you have everything documented about what has been tried, what has been attempted, then your findings are okay. You're not going to lose your clinic or lose your license because one person needs this and this person doesn't. I mean, the doctors hopefully have enough of an education to make a decision based on a per patient basis. And I think that's what they're missing. So I'm going to stop for now. And there's probably going to be more to come of this because it's really a big deal. And she doesn't see him. They write her prescriptions for a couple of months at a time. So she's not going to go back. But she's not through with this. She is going to call. And again, we spoke with the office manager today, which he normally stays out of the clinic area. He's mostly for business. But he does talk to the doctors about when there's issues that come up. And he is going to talk to them. So we may hear back from them. We may not until the next visit, so I don't know. But I'm going to let go for this video. I do have more to come today, I believe. It just depends. But anyway, hey, thanks for listening. It makes me feel a lot better when I can get things off of my chest and talk to you guys. So this is Penguin Speaks. Be somebody important. Be yourself. Peace out.